Hello, minions. Welcome back to Stone Vision Media. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. This channel, this ministry is in its infancy, so anything helps. If you're feeling called or if you're feeling generous, please donate to the cause. Links are in the bio. I appreciate you. God bless you. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Funny enough, I realized I haven't introduced myself. None of you know who I am or where I come from. You don't know the path that led me to this chair, to me speaking to you. It's difficult for me to even know where to begin. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I have never fit in. I have never felt comfortable. It's hard to explain, but I was just always an outsider throughout my whole entire life. I have felt isolated and just overall different. This isn't easy for me to talk about. I never really speak on these things. I never share with people my past struggles and even my current struggles with addiction and where that stems from and how that's affected me. But I think it's important so that you have a framework, if you will, of who I am as an individual and why I feel so called to speak to you. Being candid about these things is hard. And it's difficult for me to even know where to begin. Simply put, I am a person who has always felt a pull, a calling to something bigger. I've always seen things differently than most people, and it's been difficult for me to fit in, to be a part of a crowd, to go with the flow. This has been in regards to everything, literally. School, friends, work, even church. I have often, if not always, felt isolated or alone, like something is separating me from everyone else. And before I had God, I didn't really understand what that was. I had no context of this feeling of isolation. And what it ended up doing is making me feel so different and so uncomfortable in my own skin and resenting my inability to be a part of things to the point that I begin seeking out escapism. And I always had that about me, even from a child, to escape the chaos of my home or the poverty and destruction of my environment. I always found escapism in movies or a band or art. I'd become obsessed with something because it created a fantasy world for me. And in that fantasy world, in my imagination, in my creativity, I could be whatever and whoever I wanted. The issue with that is, as I got older, being plucked from childhood, thrust into adulthood, even young adulthood, was exceedingly unnatural for me. I couldn't seem to function correctly in as I stated, the everyday, the mundane. Perhaps I just wasn't given the proper tools, but I think a lot of it fell on me because I was constantly distracted in my own mind, in my own imagination, and I wasn't focused on real life things. So when the reality of being an adult kind of started dawning on me, it freaked me out. And I found alcohol. I remember when I took that drink. I remember when I finished that drink, the weight of daily life was lifted off my shoulders. Everything quite literally became brighter. I could breathe, and I felt at that time I could be myself. Now, at that time, too, I was learning guitar. I was getting into music. I was heavily involved in the local music scene, the punk rock scene, the metal scene, all that. I was surrounded by alcohol. I was surrounded by escapism. I was surrounded by parties. And it's where I stayed for a really long time. So, interestingly enough, while I was discovering alcohol, girls, drugs, all that kind of thing, I was also finding my identity through creativity, through music. Um, and I felt like I knew who I was. I had a purpose, I had a calling, and that was getting on that stage and playing metal. And I knew that's what I was going to do. I was being pulled in two different directions because of my drinking. And if I'm being honest here, I couldn't, at the time, I couldn't imagine being creative or getting on stage without being intoxicated. I had two choices to make. I was at a crossroads. I choose what I feel is my destiny, my calling, music, or I choose what was my escape, my soulful medicine, if you will, my liquid courage, the thing that got me through every day, which was alcohol. Well, I made my choice. And unfortunately, it was the wrong choice. But my addiction to alcohol had hooked me so deeply. It was like fundamentally part of my being. I just could not picture existing without it. And eventually, I stopped picking up the guitar as much. I stopped writing lyrics altogether. I flaked on every band I was in. I disappointed all my friends. And without me even realizing it, I had given it all up for the bottle. Your addictions are going to pull you from your destiny. The deeper I got into the bottle, the further I got away from my dreams, from my calling, from my purpose in life. And I didn't even realize it at the time. By the time I had realized that I missed my mark, it was too late. And instead of being able to put the bottle down and collect myself and get back to business, get back to music, my life had gone into such a destructive, dark direction that it was impossible. Addiction is going to destroy your purpose and your dreams. Now I was blessed enough to have people in my life that were praying for me. I was blessed enough for those prayers to intercede and change the course of my life, the path. I had God-given wisdom to understand that I had to do what it took to get sober. And as I've stated, it's taken me years to recover and heal and get to where I am now. However, some of you don't have years left. We are in dire times. The world as you know it is decaying. It's burning all around you. And you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention to the sign of the times, to the signs that are screaming, there's no time left. The end is near. We are living in a day where addictions take so many forms. Everything that we're surrounded by is a distraction and a potential addiction. Our phones, I'm guilty of it. Scrolling, wasting time, numbing yourself, tuning out, drugs, alcohol, women, men, all of it. Everything is at the tip of our fingers now. And I believe it's all accumulating now to such a degree because we are at the end. We are at the end of the rope. God is returning soon. And the devil is scared. He knows that his time is limited. So he is throwing everything he can in his power at us to keep us from doing what we're supposed to do. Some of you are so distracted by nothingness. Say that I'm wrong. Say that Jesus isn't coming soon. Frankly, none of us know the hour and the time, right? Those who claim to know are false prophets. Let's just put it that way. So let's say I'm wrong and I'm reading the signs incorrectly. Okay, well, still, the world that you live in is burning. Your way of life is being destroyed. Do you not see communism on the horizon? Do you not see the persecution? The threats to not only your way of life, not only to your country, to your traditions, but to your well-being, your family. Do you not see how that's all being eradicated and destroyed with intent? Evil doesn't take a break. Evil doesn't get distracted. It's hyperly focused on you and your way of life. But you're worried about rather the Broncos make it to the Super Bowl. That's where your focus is. Or if you're going to get laid, or the next bottle, the next pill, the next high, the next paycheck, all of it is a monumental distraction from your God-given purpose, a purpose that needs to come to fruition now. God's people, their talents and their calling need to be utilized now. It's all going away and we're just letting it happen because we want to feel good. How are you supposed to be used by God? Or how are you supposed to build something meaningful, productive, something long-lasting, something that will preserve your way of life traditionalism, Americanism, Western civilization. When you're distracted by addictions and how you feel, that's another thing we're addicted to. Our feelings. Identity politics, I feel, is more addictive now than any substance or ideology ever introduced to mankind. I really do mean that, because you are so focused on your ideologies, you're so focused on your politics, on your skin color, on your sexuality. God has a calling for all of us. It doesn't matter what your color is. It doesn't matter how you identify. What matters is the identity that He gives to you. You were designed specifically by Him to do something. You don't think this identity stuff is demonic? Injected into the status quo to destroy your purpose in life? It's gotten so bad that this stuff has penetrated, has infected the church. Right? Black churches, gay churches. We have put our feelings and our addiction to our ideologies and our identities into the church because we're so involved in our own escapism that we don't even read the Word of God anymore. We're not reading the Word of God, therefore we're not hearing His voice. And we are lost. We are lost. As I stated before, I was blessed to have people in my life that were praying for me every day, every night. I grew up in a godly home, so I was given the truth. I knew the truth early on. No matter how hard I tried to run from it, I couldn't. So I was very blessed in that regard. But there are those of you who don't have that foundation. There are those of you who perhaps don't even know what truth really is. The world has fed you this lie of my truth, my truth. Look where that's led us. Aimless, purposeless, empty, and hopelessly addicted to things that are going to kill us or completely rip us away from what we're supposed to be doing. I'm aware that there are those of you who aren't believers, who aren't of the faith, who aren't Christians. So that's why I speak so candidly and so openly and honest about my faith. I just want to say this very simply. Nothing is going to fulfill you. Nothing is going to bring you peace. Nothing is going to bring you purpose. Only God can. Drugs, alcohol, sex, relationships, marriage, even children, all of that is bereft of meaning without the Lord. You can scoff at that all you want, but one day you'll look back at this and you'll remember my words, and you know that they're true. To those who are supposed Christians, to those who are followers of Christ, at least believers in him, that are still playing footsie with the world. Again, I'm going to say, we are in the last days. Open your eyes, look around, read the word. We're running out of time. And when the King of all kings returns, where are you going to be that day? In a bar? Hungover? In bed with some worldly person? A needle in your arm? Watching pornography? Where are you going to be that day when Jesus returns? That should strike immense fear in you. But above all else, there is hope in that. If someone like me could walk away from addiction, could be saved by the grace of God, and find purpose again, there's hope for you. There's always hope in Jesus Christ, and he does not want to leave you behind. He does not want to abandon you. He wants to embrace you. But you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. You cannot serve two masters. I'm reading from Joshua 24:15. And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods of your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That is a declaration of commitment, a declaration of loyalty, a declaration of dedication to the one and only. Thank you everyone for being here. From the bottom of my heart, I truly, truly appreciate it. And I'm here for you. If you need prayer, if you need guidance, if you need a listening ear, if you just need a friend, I'm here. You can reach out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even X. I'm accessible, I'm available, and it's a blessing to be here for you. And as always, speak truth.